Hi guys, it's Miss Humphrey here with a math video. I hope that you had a great long weekend and that you're ready and back here to learn some math today. Because today we are going to be talking about adding and subtracting fractions using models. So let's get started right away with a word problem. Justin has 3/8 pound of cheddar cheese and 2/8 pound of brick cheese. How much cheese does he have in all? I'm going to read it again and we're going to listen for what are the numbers that we need to use in this problem. Justin has 3/8 pounds of cheddar cheese and 2/8 pounds of brick cheese. How much cheese does he have in all? So we have 3/8 of cheddar and we have 2/8 of brick cheese. So both of those are written in a fraction that has a denominator of 8, which actually is exactly what we're looking for. When we add and subtract fractions, they need to have the same denominator. So for all these problems today, the problems are going to already have the same denominator. But I did teach you last week how to find common denominators, and that might be something we need to use later this week. But for today, these will already have the same denominator, and you'll see why that's important. So we need 3/8 pound of cheddar cheese. So right here, I have 8/8, which is equal to 1 whole. This is complete because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of 8, and that makes 1 whole. And I can show you that by comparing it to the 1 whole, in case you guys, let me get it out of here, in case you guys forgot about these little strips that we use. So you can see it's equivalent to 1 whole. So in Justin's case, he has 3/8 pounds of cheddar cheese. So I'm going to take 3 of those 8s. This is how much cheddar cheese he has, 3/8 pound. Then it says he has 2/8 pound of brick cheese. So I'm going to take 2 of my 8s, and that's how much brick cheese he has. I'm going to join those together because I want to know, the question says, how much cheese does he have in all? And that tells me I'm adding. So I'm going to add the 3/8 and the 2/8 together. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 8s. So the answer to the question would be Justin has 5/8 a pound of cheese. 5/8 pound of cheese. Notice that in my answer, the denominator is still 8 because I am working with 8s. And that my numerator is 3/8 plus 2/8. 3 plus 2 is 5. So the denominator is staying exactly the same because we're still talking about 8s. But my numerator is getting bigger because I'm adding 3 and 2 to get 5. Well, suppose Justin eats 1/8 pound of cheese. How much cheese is left? So I'm hearing he eats it and how much is left? That tells me that's a subtraction problem. So if we know he has 5/8 pound of cheese, and he eats 1/8, I'm going to remove 1 of my 8s, and how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4 8s. So the answer would be he would have 4/8 pound of cheese left. Let's use a different denominator and see if it still applies. So I'm going to, this one's not a word problem. We are just being asked to do 1/5 plus 3/5. So I have 1/5. Again, The reason this is called a fifth is because I've taken one whole and divided it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So I have 5 pieces. 5 out of 5 is one whole. But today we are going to do 1/5. So I'm going to remove 1. 1/5 minus or plus 3/5. So I have 1/5 and I have 3/5, and they want me to add them together. So my denominator is going to stay the same. We're only talking about fifths. So 1/5 plus 3/5 is, if I add them together, 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths. So all I would do if I'm writing it on paper is keep my denominator exactly the same, but add 1 and 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, let's try a subtraction problem. The problem they gave me is 2/3 minus 1/3. So I'm going to start with 2/3, and again, the reason this is thirds is because I'm taking one whole and dividing it into 3. So I'm going to do 2/3 is what they want me to start with. 2/3 minus 1/3. So I'm going to take away 1/3, and what do I have left? 1/3. So remember, our denominator stays the same. We have 2/3 and 1/3, and we just subtract our numerators. 2 minus 1, and that's 1/3. Let's do another addition and another subtraction, and then I will set you guys free to work on this on your own. So we're going to do 3/4 plus 1/4. So I have 3 of my fourths, and I have 1/4. If I add them together, again, my denominator stays the same because we're still just talking about fourths. And I just have, instead of 3/4, I have 4/4, which is equal to 1. So you could write it as 4/4 or as 1. Later I'll be more picky about how I want you to write it, but 3/4 plus 1/4, I just add 3 plus 1 and I get 4. So it's 4/4. The last one we're going to do is subtraction, and it says 5/6 minus 2/6. So I took off one of my 6 so that I only have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5/6, and it wants me to subtract 2 of those 6. So I'm going to take 2 of them off, and now I have 3/6. So I had 5/6. My denominator stays the same. I do 5 minus 2, because I'm doing 5/6 minus 2/6, and the answer is 3/6. So I'm going to post some questions in a Google form, as well as link you to some additional practice on Khan Academy and iExcel. And you guys let me know if you have any questions, and I can host a Google Meet to answer them for you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later for science.